Welcome to another episode of Storytime with BDD. I'm your host, BDD, aka Brooklyn Dad. Folks, at long last, I am very excited about today's show. I've been giggling about it pretty much uncontrollably for the past week. And why, you may be wondering? Well, you know that account that you normally look forward to seeing in your social media feeds? Usually it's a feel good account. It's one that when you see that content, you're going to smile, you're going to laugh, it's going to make you feel good. Kind of like for me, it's Mariana Z, John Fugelsang, my friend John Slater, Jeff Tiedrick, and now there's a new addition to the Pantheon. It's today's guest. He is someone who tickles my funny bone, uh, and in what can normally be described as a really bad place, and that's Twitter. Um, in fact, his satire is so dead on. People often don't even, let me blow this up here. People don't even get it. I could say you stop by for the comedy and you stay for the comments, because when somebody misses the point of parody, well, let's just say it's quite rewarding. Most of these folks here are like, I thought it was a parody account until I read his profile. That's full parody. And some people really just do not get it. But anyway, we haven't even yet touched on the artistic bona fides of this young man. I was very excited to actually finally meet him virtually in person today. Um, he is a patriot. He is a Bible reader. He is a mall Santa. He likes women. He is the bass player for his church band, Shifty Nelson, the Dixieland Scooters, who puts America first. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming today's guest, my latest new friend, Gary Peterson.
I may have doctored that photo a little bit. We were joking about this beforehand when we were writing to each other. And you're like, do you want to play this in character? I'm like, I don't know. I look slightly different than Gary. I'm maybe about 20 years younger. Depending on the picture of Gary, I look 20 years younger. Right there. Gary Peterson. There's so little continuity with what he looks like. Sometimes he looks 70. Sometimes he looks like a DILF. Like,
ladies and gentlemen, this is in the flesh. This is the actual man behind the account, Gary Peterson, who is apparently not middle-aged. I thought he was going to be like around my age. No,
I'm 41.
He's 41. Well, you're looking good for 41. Let me just ask you this. So we also learned that Gary Peterson, or I learned that Gary Peterson is not your actual name. Do you care to share that, or you want to remain, incognito?
No, of course. My name's Brad Jones.
He's Brad Jones. That's cool. It's cool. So I'm Brooklyn like Dad. Yeah, it does, right? It's like an alias. It's almost like as good as Shifty Nelson.
Yeah, that took longer to come up with than Gary Peterson.
Shifty Nelson and the Dixieland Scooters. That is hilarious. First of all, wait. Do you play the bass?
No.
God damn.
I played,
dude.
I the only thing I have in common with Gary is that I'm also not a good bowler. The difference is I know I'm a bad bowler. Gary thinks he's breaking a perfect score by getting 100.
Oh my God. All right. So let me ask you this. Do you prefer paintbrush, pen, or Photoshop?
Oh, well, I got to go with Microsoft Paint. I use Paint 3D on like a lot of these
Wait,
pictures.
what?
Yeah.
Microsoft Paint?
Yes. Microsoft Paint, like, and that's oh, that was actually funny last night when we were texting. You're like, do you have any actual artwork? I go, maybe I should at
Oh
some point.
yeah.
Like, maybe because I'm not a good artist, but that could be very beneficial, honestly, for the types of art that Gary puts out.
So ladies and gentlemen, I have been communicating with this gentleman for the past, I want to say, almost a month, actually, because
Yeah,
I first saw his stuff on Twitter, and it knocked me on my ass. It was so funny, but I didn't know if you were legit, if you were for real, because there are
yeah.
some guys, there are some accounts like John. First of all, before I go any further, I need to drop a little thing for myself here. Folks, if you are just joining in now, this is Storytime with BDD. I'm here with the sensational, hilarious Trump artist, Gary uh, Gary Peterson, aka Brad Jones. If you like this content, please subscribe to my show and also hit that like button. It's the thumbs up thing there. Okay, where was I? Back here. Um, yeah, there are guys like Jon
Oh,
McNaughton,
Jon McNaughton.
who
Yeah.
who take themselves very seriously. And when this dude first appeared, I mean, he was coming out with this like really serious stuff. Here he is confronting what's his face? Mueller,
Mueller.
Robert
Yes.
Mueller. There's no way he would ever manhandle Mueller like that. He's a
This is
pussy. I guarantee
historically
it.
accurate. I
Pussy
remember
ass
this day.
bitch. And here's another one. Here's a solemn Trump. As Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats trample the American flag. This nonsense. Oh, here's a room full of living and dead presidents,
Nice.
or actually, I guess. Yeah, mostly dead presidents. Ronald Reagan. There's Abraham Lincoln behind him. Harriet Tubman
Oh
is
man,
there too. JFK. You know,
this is the
are
worst
you
version of A
kidding me?
Christmas Carol.
So so this guy took himself so freaking seriously. When I came upon your artwork, I thought, well, maybe he believes, maybe he believes this stuff. But it was like your stuff was. Pardon me for saying this, but some of it was just awful enough to make
That it
it
could kind of
like,
work.
wait,
Like,
what?
yeah, because it is like a lot of it's like it's pre-existing and run through the Face app and like with filters and kind of made it to look. I'll look at some of them and be like, is this too stupid? And then kind of post it and see where it goes. Sometimes I dial back on it a little bit, but yeah, it is. Oh yeah, because that's a McNaughton one where I kind of ran it through like a smile filter and an eye filter, and
Oh.
the first one that took off, I think it was the first one that took off, the one with Trump and Melania where he looks kind of like John Lovitz in it.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
I forget how I did that, but again, I've been a fan of the Face app for a long time. The Face app is like a really fun app. Like I've used it for a long time just on
Is
my
that what you
thumbnail.
use to make yourself look old?
That was when I first started this account, it didn't have any followers or anything like that. So it was technically a picture of me, but it was a picture of me with the old filter on. And
Mhm.
I think I gave myself like a big beard and some different glasses. And then after a couple months it went viral one day, and a friend of mine texted me and was like, "Is this you?" I go, I should change that picture. And so the way that I got the picture of Gary is there's a site that's called thispersondoesnotexist.com, where it's just AI of random pictures, and it didn't automatically start out like Gary. It was like a younger guy, so I took a younger guy and I think I put the old filter on him, put glasses on him, changed his hair, and put the flag in the background. And I was just kind of tweaking it enough until it stuck out to me to be like, so I can have that moment and be like, yes, that's Gary. That's the guy who's making. who's making these tweets. That first day that it went viral, like a year and a half ago, I had to call my wife and be like, "So I'm trending on Twitter."
Wait, what was the trend? Was it Gary Peterson
It was
trending?
Gary. Oh, so what it was Candace Owens was trending, and there was kind of a gimmick I was doing with that account for a little while, where he was often using the wrong pictures of people. Sometimes I'll
Yeah.
still do that, and so Candace Owens was trending, and I said something like, "Wokesters are the real racists because they're not going to vote for her for president." And I used a picture that one, and used a picture of Stacey Dash, and it was Joy Reid was like the first one to give it a lot of exposure, and she pretty quickly caught on, like after like a couple of minutes, and after she caught on, she like said, okay, this is actually really funny," and started the account, and she's tweeted him a couple of times.
Oh,
And
cool.
so
Very cool.
it caused it caused both Stacey Dash and Candace Owens to trend. I call my wife and we're like, "So kind of trending on Twitter." My wife's like, "What did you do?" I'm like, "No, no, no, it's like it's my alter ego, Gary Peterson." See, that makes it okay.
That is really cool, though. That is extremely
It
cool
was,
that
yeah.
you got Stacey Dash and Candace Owens to trend, and then your content, people got to see your content. Originally, I was going to ask you if if you used to be a Republican or had any kind of Republican leanings, and I'm still going to ask you: were you ever politically aligned as a Republican?
No, I was certainly raised. Or I'm from Springfield, Illinois. I was born and raised in Springfield, and I kind of grew up around a mix of different um, political types, and I grew up going to a religious school. Not because I wasn't raised religious, but I like to go into smaller schools, and so kindergarten through 12th grade, I went to private school. So I was certainly raised with and kind of around a lot of conservatives, but me myself, no, not really. Like back in the 80s, my parents were more conservative in the 80s. They were both Reagan voters, but then made the switch like in the early 90s.
Mm.
Um Coincidentally around when my mom around when my mom came out of the closet.
Oh, shit.
So yeah, my mom made the switch in the early 90s, and my dad remained kind of independent for a while, but eventually it kind of switched parties. So
Wow.
yeah,
What made them switch?
with my mom, it was kind of the rise of the religious right,
Mm.
because my mom came out of the closet in '86, and so then when there sort of started to be kind of a more prominent rise uh, of that, uh, she just stepped away from the party and was just kind of like, "Yeah, this kind of isn't my thing anymore, really." And granted, there were a lot of years beforehand where before she had come out where she was kind of in denial about a lot of things, but it was certainly that far kind of religious lean that sort of made her kind of step away from it. And so in the the early 90s, she kind of made the switch. But like I said, I was still kind of raised around a lot of different types of people in school and everything. And my family's kind of a mix too.
I feel like your brand of satire is so effective because you do have like you do have a proximity, like a closeness to that mentality, and I guess that's possibly from just studying and observing the cult-like dedication to Donald Trump. I love what you do with the artwork. It just fucking floors me. But
Thank you.
I want to throw this up on the screen because originally, before I learned that you were 41
Yeah.
and like way younger than I thought you were, I thought I thought that some of these pictures like were real? Like so you would introduce like your son and your daughter, and I was
Yes,
like, oh, okay. Well, I wonder if there's some some realness to this one here. I got to read this. President Trump is a man of the people who didn't even mind when some of my daughter's hair ended up in his chocolate
that is
mousse.
scripture. You know what the hardest part of that picture was finding the right picture of chocolate mousse with the right kind of lighting that I could use Paint 3D to cut and paste onto the table. I was
So
like,
so is this Sarah Huckabee?
yeah.
It
Yeah,
is.
so there's different stock photos that I'll use for the characters. Like for Gary, I can't remember what I did. I think I made Trump's eyes bigger and I gave him a frown and it gave him like a kind of a huckle eye as
Yeah, yeah.
commenters pointed out. So with Gary's daughter, Mary Jr. It's the stock image is Sarah Sanders, and then I kind of perm out the hair a bit, make the eyes bigger, kind of make the face big. It kind of all depends on the original picture I'm starting with. But with Gary's son, Ronald Eisenhower Peterson, um, because of course. Why wouldn't that be his name? Like, so sometimes when I'm using like a certain picture of somebody, like there's certain faces where they'll fit onto the original photo just fine. Like Gary, for instance, Trump's face kind of fits on there. But then there's others where it just kind of will make them look like a random person. One of those faces is Tucker Carlson. So
Uh-huh.
Gary's son is from Tucker Carlson's face. Like you can't really tell by looking at it, but that's
Holy
it
shit.
originally turns into that, and then I kind of put a teen filter on it and shave the head and give him that stupid mustache.
Okay, so let's fast forward then to
Oh yeah.
this one here.
Oh right, and his wife
It-
is made up to look like Melania.
that's what I thought. I thought that,
Mhm.
and the daughter is Sarah Huckabee, and now we're
Yeah,
learning that that your son, his son, is Tucker Carlson. Yeah, is that right?
that could be kind of a conspiracy. Like, did Gary's wife and Tucker like go to college or something back in the day? And I don't know. I don't know how to break that to Gary. Gary's a good man. He doesn't need to. He doesn't need to be thinking about this.
It's Tucker Carlson. You killed me. Also, what's funny about this picture is that it's a you that picture on the mantle there is the same one except for the dog. It used to be a white dog. Same exact picture. What the hell, bro? and
There
then
was a journey with this picture.
and then on the other side there, it's like a picture of a bearded Trump as Jesus, I'm guessing.
It's their savior. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's their savior. Their original dog is gotten his blessing and is in dog heaven now.
Their Lord and Savior, Jesus Trump. Here's another one here. This is you've got Kyle Rittenhouse and Tucker Jr. or Eisenhower. My son just rubs it in my face that he played Freedom Bones from our church band, Shifty Nelson and the Dixieland Scooters, for President Trump and Kyle Rittenhouse without me there. The thumbs up
It's
mean they loved it too.
it's Freedom Boner. You got to get it right. You got to get the classics right. That was their first number 1,000 hit.
I like what you do with the Kyle Rittenhouse there. You rosy up his cheeks like a little cherub.
I know. I've got a good kick out of that blush filter. Like it just hit me when I look at it. I was just like, well, he already kind of looks like Bob's Big Boy made a burger out of Howdy Doody. Like, let
Yeah.
me go ahead and like add a little blush on there. And I did that earlier today too. And now it's been fun just putting things in the background because right now, as we speak, Gary is getting yelled at hardcore because of the one I put up with in front of a
With Kyle?
field, Gary and Kyle. Yeah, adding more blush to his face, and I just instantly I'm like, oh, I can do something with that.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting for like someone to notice the Easter eggs in the background.
So
There's
you
Easter eggs
guys,
in the background.
this is Gary Peterson's most recent one. There's there's Kyle Rittenhouse. And you said that there's some Easter eggs here. So Easter eggs, guys, you know, are like just like little hidden goodies, right? So when you see it, go to Gary's profile and just zoom in on this picture. Unfortunately, I don't have it zoomed in here, but zoom in on it and you're going to see things that are going to make you chuckle.
It looks like is visiting Pixar's Land of the Misfit Toys. Like you'll be able to find the troll from Cat's Eye in there, the Loch Ness monster, Jason Voorhees.
So what made you decide to do this? Because this is like a serious undertaking. Like you have to earlier we were talking about Stephen Colbert. You guys probably remember the Stephen Colbert used to have a show called The Colbert Report, and he was full on 100% red meat Republican, and he committed 100% to his thing to the point where when I first few episodes I saw of his show, I was like, what's the deal with this guy? Just like with you, I was like, what's the deal with this guy? And I couldn't just dismiss you as being a Trumper or as satire. I wanted to retweet you so bad, but then I was like, well, damn, if I retweet him, that will send a signal to the Trumpers that I like his stuff, and then they will get on his ass. So I was like protecting you like a little baby.
And thanks for the shout out last night too. Like my friends have said to me like I want to retweet this, but it looks kind of real, and I don't know like if my followers will think I've gone crazy. Like, and I'll get tagged in people tweeting like, why do so many of my mutuals follow this guy? They think it's real. They think that that he is a bull. Well, he is a bowler.
Do you know someone in real life like this that you've modeled this Gary Peterson persona after?
Not really. The name I used to be a DJ. Look at that picture. There's just no continuity with what he looks like. That was one of his more Jack Torrance-y days right there. Like,
Yeah.
As a hell.
This is recent. This is recent, wasn't it? Right.
It
This
was. I forget where I saw the original picture of it.
And
but
I think you refer to straight Riots here.
Straight, yeah, he's a big proponent of straightriotism. I'm glad that because that word really makes me laugh, but it also looks kind of like straight riots.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm glad people have kind of picked up that it sounds like straightriots. I used to be a DJ long time ago, and there was a guy. There was a guy I was a DJ with. His name, a funny guy. His name was Fig, and he called everybody Gary Peterson. He just everybody, and he was so good at it that we just would know who he was talking about, even if that was nobody's name. They'd be like, "Why do you call everybody Gary?" And he'd be like, "I call everyone that. Watch this. Hey, Gary." Guy stands up, yo, and just knew that's who he was talking about. So just that name just always kind of stuck in my head. That like when it came down to creating this account, I was like, oh, Gary Peterson. That's like kind of a nod to myself back from my some funny times in my DJing days.
That is funny.
But it came about because I've been a YouTuber for a long time, and I have a show. I've done a show on there for forever called The Cinema Snob, and so you have no idea how great it is for me to be talking about another character. after 15 years, I have a second character to talk about. So, and that's a very much a movie-based site. It has a lot to do with like horror exploitation films because I was born and raised a movie guy. I'm a big movie guy.
Same.
And
Yeah.
so a lot of things from I grew up with, 70s and 80s horror exploitation flicks. There was a brief time on there where I was kind of combining some more political episodes, and they did well, but it didn't. For me personally, it just didn't kind of mesh very well because I was
Mm,
like, this is because it didn't start out as a political channel.
right.
So after a little bit, I was like, I'm just gonna keep this very movie based and focused on that. But because of that, it was like, I still need an outlet because there's a lot of gold here. Like,
Yeah.
especially, I've had videos before about like the satanic panic of the 80s and things like that. And with that kind of making a comeback, I'm like, all right, there's a lot of stuff to like lampoon here, a lot of things to really riff. So I mainly just kind of created Gary as just sort of an outlet to for a lot of these jokes that I wouldn't say on the show and with a character that I wouldn't really use on the show necessarily. Like I said, before I'd had different types of political characters on the show, but once I kind of went back to the movies, I was like, Gary, this Twitter account will be a good way to like kind of to kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Just kind of put a lot of material out there that
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
wouldn't put on the YouTube channel. And then I didn't think it would take off, but after a little bit it did. So I was like, all right, I need to kind of focus on this this thing a little bit. This is kind of giving me a boost of energy. I like it.
Well, let me give you a little boost of your profile here. This is Gary's Twitter account here. It's at Gary Peterson USA. I should say Brad. I'm sorry,
Oh
Brad,
no,
but
it's
it's
fine.
Gary. Yeah. Give him a follow. Some of the comments were like, how does this guy only have 30,000 followers? There are people think that you should definitely have way more than 30,000 followers. I'm one of them. I believe that as well. So,
Thank you. Thank you very
if
much.
you are just joining us, this is Gary Peterson, aka Brad Jones, and he has fantastic, hilarious artwork, guaranteed to keep you chuckling for hours on end. Really, it's like so. It's kind of like a rabbit hole, I guess you could say. Yeah, my wife said the same thing. She was helping me prepare for this interview, and she said like she got into the comments and like you can stay in the
Dude,
comments for a while because some
dude,
people are like, hey,
yeah.
what's up with this guy? And it's hilarious.
Dude, the comments are the best part. Like
Yeah.
there's so it's as much as I might like a joke I put oh yeah, I forgot that was one of them that went viral. And people were posting up the original photograph like as like a gotcha to Gary, like that's not you. You put your face on someone else. I'm like, well, what do you mean? We look completely different. He's Eric is obviously more happy to be with me, and so the comments, like as much as I'll like one of the jokes or a piece of like fake like doctored artwork I'll put out,
Yeah.
the comments are so original. Like they they put thought into their insults. And
Oh
even when
yeah.
they don't put thought into their insults, it's still funny. Like it's just funny to see this image of this guy just happy to put up this bullshit artwork and then just have a commenter go fucking loser. Like
Oh, that one was one of my favorites. That one in particular. You could taste the seething from this guy. He was
yeah.
so mad.
Oh
Wait,
yeah.
he
And
added too. He's like, I bet you don't even play the bass well. Like, what?
so someone hasn't been introduced to Shifty Nelson and the Dixieland Scooters yet.
Yeah. So this rendering of Donald Trump's face that doesn't even look like him, I think hits me the hardest, I think. Because there's an earnestness in, in the smile, in the
Mhm.
expression on his face. And to make matters even funnier, Trump himself is not smiling in this photo. Oh my god.
With this stunning photo of Pat Sajak behind them. It's so like I gotta give it to Gary. Like he is sincere and earnest about these bad renditions of people. but he apparently has thick skin because he keeps doing it. Like, he doesn't really argue with people, or kinda, but it's great because now that there are a lot of followers to it, other like fans and followers will like chime in and like also play into the joke. So someone will respond to Gary and be like, "Oh, what do you know about the Bible?" And Gary will say something like, "Oh, well, I was a concubine to Pharaoh, so I saw Moses throw Pharaoh off a pyramid." Someone will be like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And then a Gary fan will chime in and go like, "No, he's actually correct. You might want to do some research on this." Like, just like piss the person off even more.
So I have also noticed that there is a religious theme to some of your things. I don't know if that's part of, like you mentioned that your parents had switched parties once the
Yeah.
religious right, came to prominence. Where do you stand on religion? Are you a religious guy? Not so religious? Where are you on that?
I'm I'm not an atheist, but I'm not terribly religious. Um I guess I just don't think about it all that often. I did in school a
Hmm.
lot because I studied, and I really liked going to private school. I did. I went to yeah, Christian school, kindergarten through eighth, and then Lutheran high school. And no, I liked it. I mean, like I liked a smaller environment. But even outside of that, I liked taking theology courses, and I got to grow up with some weird stuff too, man. Like the some of the PSAs that we got to watch. Like, you ever see Colby the talking computer?
No.
Oh, dude, man, Colby the talking computer, man. Oh yeah, this was like before, like this is like the good version of AI, where like you had a problem with something. Colby the dancing talking computer would dance around on roller skates and he'd print out a Bible verse for you. He looks,
What?
yeah, he looks suspiciously like a man in a costume.
No, when I was growing up, there was a show called Davy and Goliath,
Oh,
and it was
yeah.
claymation
Mhm.
things telling you about Jesus and whatnot. Yeah,
Yeah.
and to me it was like a cartoony thing, so I was watching it, and I don't think my mom, back when I was a kid, our parents like didn't even hardly pay any attention to the things we were doing and the peril we were getting ourselves into. But yeah, no. So what were we talking about? Religion. Yeah. So I asked you that because I noticed like this one, for instance, which is hilarious. Much like the watchful eye of Mary, this piece christens our bowling alley with the blessings of Ivanka and President Trump for all who enter. So I just have to point out, right? Uh, so let me zoom in here. The
The stupid
painting,
sun in the
is this
background.
an actual, what is this? Is this a painting that you've modified, first of all?
Yeah, it is. It is. It was that was one that I had. I think I had used that in a previous Gary joke like a couple of years ago when it didn't have very many followers, and then I used it again here and added it to the wall in the background. That took some doing too, like to get her
Yeah.
arm back in front of it. No, it was originally, yeah, Mary and Jesus, and I just used like a face swap with
So she's holding a baby Trump, right?
yes, Oedipus is gonna have a field day with this.
And then right next to her is you, and then way over there, there's Gary Peterson's son, aka Tucker.
His son, who sometimes is Gary's height, other times is like 5'2". Like his son, I love his son because I'm like, I think his son hates him, but at the end, because his son always looks mad, but
Yeah.
always looks like he at least wants to be a good son. Like he's kind of there to support his dad. Like maybe he still lives at home. Like, yeah, he still lives at home. So it's like, well, let me just kind of play into dad's bullshit for a little
A-
bit so I can get some free room and board.
and he's very stoic. He's
Yeah.
he's is always not smiling. Here's one here. Jesus wept when he saw your paintings. And then, so I love how you're taking these. Are these, first of all, are these actual comments that you're getting from people?
Those are direct messages.
That is hilarious. Okay, somebody was mad enough that they sent this to you at 12:23 a.m. and you
Oh shit!
turned it
I don't think I
into
noticed.
yeah, you turned it into these kind words inspire me to continue my art, knowing that Christ himself is looking upon my paintings with tears of joy and
He,
hope.
he looks at the bright side of things. He's either very silly or he's in denial. But he has very thick skin. It's like all of this, it rolls right off of him, or he just thinks he's right about all this shit.
Dude, that's so great. You could do a whole thing of I almost hope that my having retweeted you, you will like end up getting some of my trolls. And then some of my trolls are pretty savage, right? So they'll come at you.
Dude. Dude, I noticed. I was like, oh man, like, oh, Gary's got his work cut out for him.
Yeah. But let's see. Thank goodness we patriots can have sweet dreams with the familiar face of our beloved President Trump on our TV. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about here. That is so not his face, which makes it freaking hilarious.
I wanted to do one where it was like the painting face, like the face that you kind of see on a lot of Gary's paintings, but
Uh-huh.
like on actual Trump. So I was like, oh, well, maybe there's something wrong with the filter on Gary's TV. He uses a lot of motion smoothing or something. That he just thinks that's what Trump looks like. Oh,
Now, this is that moment from the State of the Union. No, sorry, it wasn't the State of the Union. It was the nomination, the voting for Speaker of the House, and I see you've inserted Tucker as the guy grabbing. Now, this was Gary Peterson being grabbed. Yeah.
yeah. It's. I was like, oh, the son, like it was easy to put Gary's face on there, but the son, I was like, well, the guy's head's kind of at an angle. Let me see if I could kind of get it right to get Ronald Eisenhower Peterson on there, and boom. So it's like, well, I still think that his son really doesn't care much for his dad, or is at least annoyed by him, but also doesn't want to see him get his ass kicked.
Look, for somebody who I consider myself a Photoshop pro.
Yeah.
This is pretty good stuff. This is very good quality, and it's inspired. Let's see, what do I have here? This is another. This one is from the State of the Union.
Gary's greatest hits. Like they both look at it. They both look like Angela at the end of Sleepaway Camp. Like they got those pictures past security.
Oh my god, these are fantastic. So did you use a smile filter on these two?
Yeah. So there's two different kinds. There's a few different kinds of smile filters you can use on there, and there's one that's a wide smile, and you can give them the wide smile. Then you can put that same picture into the filter again to make it even wider than it is before. So I'm
Ah.
like, oh, perfect. The more they, the more they look like an alligator. I think that's where it'll be sold.
Now, help me out here. This is Microsoft Paint?
No, it's Face App. Microsoft Paint is what I use. Paint 3D. I use Paint 3D. I use Paint 3D to like stick the like paintings in their hands, and if I
Mhm.
need to put their hands in like in front of the painting and stuff like that, it is where like if you zoom it in, you can see how fake it looks. Like it's like
Okay.
to where it's just enough to where when you're scrolling, it looks kind of real if you're looking at it at first glance. Same with that one with Ivanka and the painting behind her. It's like if you zoom in on her arm, you can see where it's like a cut and paste job. There's one with Gary and his son. This one, but James O'Keefe looks way more like cake in this than that cake does.
This one hurt me bad because at first glance I didn't like I thought this was actually James O'Keefe, and I feel like it kind of is, but it's got what is it got like a cake filter on his face, like
I,
he looks like
what
a
did I?
mannequin right
Oh,
here. Do
I
you
know what
see
it
the
is.
eyes?
I remember what it is. So in the original picture, his eyes are closed. So you can use the filter to make wide eyes, but if their eyes are closed, they kind of have to draw eyes on it. So that's what gives him the distinct buttercream cake look that he's got right now.
Oh, that's funny. The stuff on the walls there, did you add that or was that already on the
No,
wall?
like so I when I was working on that picture, I did try adding some of Gary's art to the background, but
Mhm.
that was one of those instances where it was like, I can't make this look good. It looks too fake. So
Okay.
I had to go ahead and leave the original artwork in the background.
Were you shocked that I mean, were you shocked that they had given, James O'Keefe the boot from, Project Veritas? Because I mean, that is, you know, that's his thing. Like, he is Project Veritas, right?
Yeah, kind of like I did see that headline and it was sort of I haven't followed up on it much since. But when I first saw the headline, I was like, "This is kind of vague. Like, what's going on behind this? What kind of weird shit is going on behind the scenes here?"
Mhm,
And then when the response was kind of like, "Oh, well, we're leaving this. It's nothing without him." Then I was sort of like, "Well, do you just like him? Do you not actually? Is it not about whatever stories they're putting out? Is it just you just kind of like him or something?"
mhm.
I don't. I haven't followed it that closely. What is the
Uh,
deal with that?
they booted him, not even really sure. I mean, it's weird,
Yeah,
like, they've been doing this scam journalism for years now. I can't imagine that he's suddenly crossed a line that he didn't already cross, like, 5, 6 years ago, you know?
I saw something about like stealing a sandwich or something, and you know it's social media, so it's sort of like, oh, I got to take a lot of this with a grain of salt. But something
Yeah,
about
yeah.
stealing a sandwich. So in my head, I'm picturing like, what's it like the episode of Friends where Ross lost it when they ate his sandwich at the
Oh, yeah, I
museum?
remember that.
Like,
That's too
is
funny.
it a sitcom over there?
Let's see. I have the Garys are the only awards that matter, as I am proud to gift this trophy to Scott Baio, whose patriotism puts Charles and all of America in charge, which is such a well written tweet, especially considering that it is
That's
not,
Ricky
in
Schroeder.
fact, Scott Baio, but Scott Baio was Charles in charge. That is Ricky Schroeder.
Is Gary is mixing up his shows over on MeTV. Like,
Yeah, yeah. And there's a bust of Gary there. So the Garys are an award. What does the Garys award represent?
the get so that I guess it's just whoever he runs into on the red carpet. I don't know how he gets access to like all of these high profile people, but that was so when I did that joke. I think the first time I did a joke with the Garys, he was given one to Kevin Sorbo because that Left Behind movie just came out.
Oh, I saw that one
I
too. Yeah.
I had to see that movie by the way for my other for my other channel. um, but so I was this was after Gary. This was a little bit after Gary went really viral with the Trump and Melania painting, and also another one really took off where Gary and his son were going to go see Left Behind. So I'm sitting there like the follower account went in like a very short amount of time went up 20,000 or something like that. Like it went up big.
Wow.
So I'm sitting there like, what is my follow-up joke gonna be? You know what I mean? Like, like I've been doing comedy for a long time. I'm still sitting like, all right, what is the follow-up? It's got to be good. So the Gary, I think Sorbo might have been trending that day. So I'm like, well, let's see if the Garys is a good joke, and it was people responded well to that one. So I'm like, okay, good. I'm
Have you ever had the actual people that you referenced, Scott Baio or Ricky Schroeder or Kyle Rittenhouse, have any of these people actually engaged with your account?
a couple. Uh,
Really? Who?
Dinesh D'Souza did.
Wait, did he think
Um,
you were
okay,
like for legit?
one time I think he did. So this was not long after he released 20,000 Mules, and my mom lives out in California, where there's a van out there that has just 20,000 meals spray painted on the side of it.
Oh, you took a picture of that, didn't you?
Yeah,
Or
my
did
mom sent me
somebody?
that. Yeah, I
Okay.
did. I did. Or I think it's gone around on a few different channels, but it's not far from where my mom is, and she took a picture and sent it to me, and I might have put Gary in front of it, either Gary or his nephew. I put in front of it and said something about bringing people into the van to expose them to the truth. And Dinesh D'Souza retweeted it. he retweeted this perv van, like
Oh
I
my
guess he's
God.
like dishing out copies of his movie like it's Deep Throat. And like so he retweeted, and then there was a couple weeks ago, I forget what the story was, but Dinesh was responding. He was cutting and pasting the same tweet in response to a bunch of different people. I think you might have been one of them. I know Mueller, She Wrote was one,
Mhm.
and Occupy Democrats, I think, was one. Like all of us were getting the same cut and paste response from Dinesh D'Souza about might have been something relating to the documents. I can't remember, but I took like a screen grab of all and was like uh proud to be included in this Patriots tweet-a-thon or something like that. And so James Woods responded to one.
No.
Yeah, I mean that one was pretty light. Like it was it wasn't really anything that political. It was he said something about missing out on a concert or something like that. And I think I said something like, oh, does this mean you won't be front and center at Shifty Nelson and the Dixieland Scooters? And he responded and said, like, is that an invitation? Like it was that one was kind of light, but
That's funny.
he followed the account after that.
That is hilarious. That is hilarious. Um, let's see. Let's move on to some people who are taking you seriously here. This is a great one. Gary Peterson's comment says, "Looks like our church band Shifty Nelson and the Dixieland Scooters has found another soul to save." This is the one we were talking about earlier. Fucking loser!
Oh yeah.
Bet you suck at bass too.
He's gonna save more souls than Jewel. Like he's and now like now there's enough followers to where like the commenters will play into it and then they'll start getting yelled at. Like I saw that happening earlier where like there's a follower who's like playing into the joke and then they'll start getting a lot of responses like this
I
where they
hope
also think the person's real.
I do sincerely hope that you have followers who will help you, continue the ruse and get these guys riled up a bit more. This is a good one here.
They do.
There's no need to ask for commissions. I already have my ode to President Trump with the stoic honor of General Patton right on hand. And of course, we have Captain Kangaroo, vaguely, for some reason, vaguely resembling Trump.
That's a reference to the kids out there, the young followers of Gary. I'll put some obscure stuff on there. Like I'll be like, oh, let's see how many of the young followers catch a reference to Blansky's Beauties, like or some obscure show from the 70s.
Here's an angry one here. You're a fucking idiot. They said that your reply was they said the same thing to Gilbert Stewart when his President Washington portrait made Jefferson vomit in Madison's chalice, but now it is our best evidence of Washington's existence. Which this is hats off to you, my friend. Kudos for that one. That was a brilliant reply. And I love that you're kind of elevating these crazy troll replies because it's fun. It's kind of fun to laugh at. And
it is.
And that, by the way, Gilbert Stewart is the guy who did that George Washington portrait. That's an actual artist. So that was nice that you brought some actual art history into
there's 10% of a history lesson in there.
Yeah.
Like it's just sort of like an episode of Drunk History.
Yeah.
There's a little bit in there. Like then Gary has a few old fashions before he goes to bed and thinks Jefferson vomited everywhere.
And let's see, this one, I nominate, the Michigan GOP Watch nominates this for Trump's official White House portrait. Oh my God. Like my dreams will come true if, and if this artwork gets into the White House, man, I will not stop laughing ever.
So this one had, I think, so far my favorite response yet, and it was a quote tweet, and it was you remember the scene in Ferris Bueller where Cameron is looking at the painting and it zooms in on his eyes
Yeah.
and zooms in on the painting and keeps it was that, except it was Cameron looking at the Trump painting and kept zooming in on Cameron, zooming in on Trump's face, and I'm like, bravo. Like that, I think that one might be my favorite response yet for Gary that like added to the joke.
Now, we are at the point of the show, my friend, where it is time for our guessing game. But before we move on to that, I want to remind those of you who have either just joined or are watching the replay, please remember to subscribe to the show and like it. Just smash that thumbs up button. It does help the show. It does help the channel. And it helps us to continue bringing you guys content like this and guests like my fantastic host today, Gary Peterson, aka Brad Jones. Now, the guessing game, I didn't explain this to you before, but the guessing game is basically several categories that I have picked to ask you questions about. And let me put it up here on the screen here. Oh, no, that's not it. Let's add this one here. Okay, so guess the word. And before I go any further, there is clearly one that I want you to do. There's one that I've mainly prepared for you. But guess the word is where I put up 4 pictures on the screen, and these 4 pictures, they have one word in common, right?
Okay.
This one here, this is the one. Can you identify these famous paintings?
Yeah. I'm gonna do horrible at this.
Don't be intimidated. But when I tell you that you have a choice, the choice is actually an illusion, right? Yeah. Because you really don't have much of a choice. I am trying to steer you towards this one, just so you know.
Excellent.
Name that Hall & Oates song. This one is the only option that I will consider letting you not do the painting one, though, but really. And Who the Faheezy, this is also kind of like a visual recognition thing where I show you just a piece of a picture of a politician or a celebrity, but really it's this one, right? So let me just explain to you these famous paintings. I'll show you a clip of a really famous, not obscure stuff, not like Johann Schmagegi, like these are like very, very high profile. You should be able to look at these and recognize. So what do you say?
I've got an original Schmagegi here at home.
So what do you say? What do you choose?
Why
is it this one?
I'll do the painting one.
Excellent choice.
I'll do it as good as Gary himself would.
I commend you for utilizing your free choice, and you were obviously not coerced into that choice.
Oh no, not at all.
Okay, so here's how this goes. If you guess correctly, I will hit the cowbell for you, and if not, I'll say wah wah wah. Okay.
Works out. I hear the wah 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 at least 3 times a day.
Here's the first one.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Oh, man.
Don't overthink it. You know this.
I know. I'm sitting. Is it Baby Trump again? Yeah.
No. This is a
Uh,
legit
is it
paintings.
the waiter at the Last Supper? I know what this is. Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you that we have people guessing with us at home right now.
They're way more correct than I am. I'll go with that. I'll go with the hostess at the Last Supper.
Oh, wah wah wah. So sorry. It is actually the
And
Mona
so,
Lisa.
oh, well, even Mr. It's a step up from what he did to Whistler's mother in the movie.
Yes. Yeah. There is the actual Mona Lisa, and we had some folks here from home guessing. Let's see, yeah, Meredith Powell guessed that correctly, as well as did
Like I
most of
got
the.
this doesn't bode well for me. I got the Mona Lisa wrong. Oh, that's
All
that
right.
thing that was in Glass Onion that just came out. I know this.
Okay, here's the next one. I have faith in you. I think you're gonna do it. Here we go.
Oh, Scream.
Wah, wah,
Oh man, it's
wah.
Scream 2, isn't it?
No. No.
As soon as I said Scream, though, I'm like, wait, I'm wrong.
No. But then you doubled down. You said Scream 2. I'm so sorry.
Yes.
I'm so sorry. We were looking for
Oh.
Starry Night. This was
I was
a very,
closer than
very
that.
famous painting by Van Gogh.
I was at least closer with that than I was with the hostess at Last Supper.
And
for the Mona
by the
Lisa.
way, you can give me either the name of the painting or the name of the artist if the the name of the painting doesn't.
I'll do you one better. I won't get either right.
Okay, here's our next one.
Oh, okay. Last Supper.
There you go. There you go.
You're wrong. It's actually the Da Vinci Code, the back of the DVD cover.
Yes, and this is how the Last Supper went down recently.
Oh, yeah, it's
There's
the
the
asylum version of Animal House.
That's the this is the blasphemers version of the Last Supper. There's the actual one there. I'm not sure who the artist was. Does anybody out there know?
Zacchaeus was the original artist.
Zacchaeus is the name of the artist. Thank you. That you get bonus.
No. I mean, well,
oh no.
I mean, Gary probably thinks Zacchaeus was the original artist.
Okay, here's the next one. You ready?
Yeah. Is this Scream? I think it is. Oh yes. I play the odds if I keep guessing the same ones. Oh, that's Scream 4. That is the least of the series.
This is let's see, Da Vinci. Oh, people are saying Da Vinci was the one who did the Last Supper. That makes sense.
And I said, oh, I'm not sure. I said Zacchaeus, and I referenced the Da Vinci Code. I'm like, I am bad at art, even worse than
I'm guessing.
Even worse than
Look,
Gary.
these are the folks at home guessing. They're saying this with certainty too. Like Cindy right here is saying it was Da Vinci. Like, you don't say it was Da Vinci if you're uncertain. You'd say Da Vinci ? She must know.
Da Vinci?
Okay, so you got this one right. This was the Scream. You guessed multiple times. So here we go. Here's the next one.
Oh, what's this called? I mean, Salvador Dali. But what's
there you go.
It's Porky and Wacky Land. I remember this cartoon.
I feel like this. I should have written the name down. I feel like it's called The Persistence of Spring or The Persistence of Memory. Oh shit! Here's the Trump Reaper saying The Persistence of
Persistence of
Memory.
memory.
Look
I
at
just
that.
called it clocks.
Melting clocks. You are
Melting
there.
clocks. You have melting clocks. Put that on a T-shirt. Nice.
So yes, you are correct. Correctamundo. Okay, here's the next one. You're actually kind of rebounding well from a poor start.
Rebounding a little bit. I'm remembering back to my college roommate, what he had on his wall.
Okay. Here's the next one.
Oh man, Picasso.
You are correct.
I know, it hit me. I was like, oh wait, I can say what the artist is. Like that's helping me out immensely.
Very well done. And the folks in our home audience are guessing with you too. Let's see. Here's the next one.
Oh well, that's the original Mr. Bean classic, Whistler's Mother.
There you go. Well done. Congratulations. You are correct. It is Mr.
Yes,
Bean's.
there it is. I could get it right if I tie it into a movie. If I can tie it into the classic Bean film, I know I can do this.
Dude, this made me laugh almost as hard as I laughed at your artwork, dude. That scene from, I forget what Mr. Bean movie was that, where he
the first one, Bean, where he was
did he sneeze?
Yeah, he did, and he tried wiping it off, but it was like paint remover, so he had to like draw it back on, and replaced it with a poster, so like Burt Reynolds could christen it at the end of the movie.
Okay, so last but not least, this is the final segment of the show. It's called My Favorite Things. There are no wrong answers because these are your favorite things. And It's meant to be a rapid fire kind of thing. Ask and answer. You ready for it? You ready?
Yeah, you got it.
Okay. Favorite artist?
Other than Gary Peterson. Maybe probably Salvador Dali, probably.
Good one. Favorite music to Photoshop to?
Ooh, favorite music to Photoshop to? In New Wave. I mean, I just play that a lot anyway.
New Wave, which isn't really all that new anymore, right? Are they still making new wave? It is in my
heart. It is. It is in my heart. I still dress like I still dress like I did in high school.
Favorite work of art?
Honestly, probably Scream.
Okay, that's a good one. Favorite TV show to binge watch?
Ooh. Oh, that's a good question. Probably Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh yeah,
first.
Big Cheers fan. Yeah. Cheers, Frasier, depending on if we're in the mood for 80s or 90s.
Interesting. Very interesting. Favorite cartoon character?
Bugs Bunny.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Grew up on that as a kid.
Yeah. Bugs humor was very, I want to say subversive, like, but Bugs was like, Bugs was funny as hell.
Oh, I still put it on in the mornings.
Yeah. Favorite subject to draw or paint?
My cat, Lloyd. He recently passed away too, so that's been nice to kind of work through all of that and do some kind of in my head, kind of put together some Lloyd drawing.
I'm so sorry for your loss, man. I'm very sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
I know that's painful.
Thank you very much.
Favorite actor?
I'm a big John Travolta guy.
Really?
Yeah, love John Travolta. I grew up with Travolta, Stallone, big Nick Cage fan, Schwarzenegger, all
Nicolas
those
Cage.
guys I grew up with. But
What-
if Travolta's in something, I'm watching it.
What's your favorite Travolta movie?
Saturday Night Fever.
Interesting. I would have said Face Off as is probably
Great
my
movie.
favorite.
That's one of his best.
Yeah. Favorite singer or group?
The Bee Gees. Because
Oh, interesting.
I almost wore my Bee Gees shirt, honestly. Like, it's in the dirty clothes.
Favorite Twitter account?
Oh, favorite Twitter account. I like. You ever see the incorrect movie lines one, where it's like title dropping the movie, but it's an incorrect title
No.
drop, or it'll be like a line from, like, okay, say Saturday Night Fever. Well, they'll be like, I can't go dancing tonight. I got the Saturday Night Fever. Like, it like incorrectly works.
What's the name of this account?
Oh, it's like incorrect title drops or something like that. I can't remember.
Wow. Wow, some fan you are.
I know, I'm the worst.
All right. Walking or jogging?
Walking. My knees hate me when I jog.
Yeah. Orange juice or apple juice?
Apple juice.
Waffles or pancakes?
That's the toughest one I've been in. I eat more pancakes.
Interesting. You take a lot of naps too?
After turning 40, yeah.
Pancakes are nap food. Pencil or Sharpie?
Sharpie, I guess, because I always have those laying around the house.
If you could live anywhere, where would that be?
Oh man, I do love it up here in Chicago. If I could live anywhere else, that's tough. Italy, or in the woods would be nice. Somewhere like kind of nice, like small, somewhere like in northern exposure, nice mountainous area like that. That's
very cool.
Cozy as hell.
If you could do any job for one day and you'd be an expert or a pro at it, what would that job be?
Expert or pro? Honestly, probably artist. Like,
that's a good one.
I'm really not very good.
Any particular charities or foundations / organizations that are close to your heart or that you support?
Yeah, I was a big supporter of the Siamese Rescue charity, because I've had Siamese cats all my life. So there's been some charities to them. One of them was called the Siamese Rescue, but I think they closed down not too long ago. So I got to look into what a newer one of that would be, but something akin to that, and also any charity that has to do with chronic kidney disease in cats. Lloyd, when he passed away here recently, it was chronic kidney disease. So, and we were lucky enough to give him just the best care possible, but it is incurable. When they have it, it's incurable. You can do a lot of different things to certainly extend their life and make them very comfortable, whether it's sub-Q fluids and other types of medication, but it is incurable. So eventually it'll catch up. So anything related to chronic kidney disease and in pets, that's something that I'm definitely like donating to now and giving shout outs to.
Yeah, that's great. That's excellent. Brad, I want to thank you for joining us. I almost called you Gary.
Thank you. Either or. I should start going by either now.
It's funny because people who know me in real life often will refer to me as Brooklyn or BDD, but my name is Majid, and I'm perfectly fine with call me by my persona. It's, hey, I'm Brooklyn Dad, all right?
Oh yeah.
Hey.
I get it. Like I've been playing the cinema snob for like 15 years, and I get that a lot. We'll do conventions and things like that where I'll get called cinema snob, and so now it's like I got like I said earlier, it's like it's cool having a third name to add to that now with Gary.
That's your YouTube channel?
That's the main show. The YouTube channel is Stone Gremlin Productions, but the main show is the Cinema Snob. If you type in,
if somebody types in Cinema Snob, they will find your stuff.
they'll find me. Yeah,
Cinema Snob. I'm just writing that down because I'm going to check that out myself. I'm not a snob for cinema. In fact, no. Like, when it comes to movies, people who know me know, like, as long as I'm mildly entertained and it's not too stupid of a movie, yeah, I'm pretty generous with the ratings.
The same way. I'm the same way. Like the snobs, like it's a character I play where it's kind of a riff show, honestly, where I play a very highbrow, snarky kind of character. It's like pretty different than how I am in real life. But,
no shit.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun to do. But yeah, I'll get called snob, like cinema snob over the years.
That is hilarious.
Thank you.
I gotta check that out. And I feel you kind of ended up torpedoing half of the questions I had for you when I learned that, like, you were so very different than I thought you were.
Oh.
But listen, thank you for the stuff that you put out there, because you seriously, if laughter is the best medicine, you like took some years or added some years to my life from just the past like month of just laughing at your stuff. Thank you. So
that means a lot. Thank you very much.
You guys, make sure, if you're not already following Gary Peterson USA, give him a follow, give him a shout out, give him, help this guy grow his audience, because we need more stuff out there that really is just existing just to help us laugh, and also to poke fun at the people that we can't stand.
And to read the comments too, to get joy out of those comments.
So Brad, do me a favor, just sit tight while I say good night to my viewers here, and I'll see you on the other side. Yeah,
you got it. Thank you very much.
Thank you again. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us for another fun episode of Storytime with BDD. I'm your host, BDD, aka Brooklyn Dad. And if you have not yet gotten your shot, what are you waiting for? Get your shot. Protect yourself. Protect your loved ones. Get that shot. Also, wear a mask. Keep your social distance 6 feet or better. And I look forward to seeing you guys at the next show. Same time, same channel. I love you all. Peace.